And then they are known for their hush puppies and Catfish. And every time that we interview someone, that's always what they say. No one ever, I don't think ordered anything off the menu other than that. Their motto is nothing fancy, just good food, and that's very true. But they have very loyal customers. Some of them that we interviewed said that they had been coming there for 30 years, and they were planning on bringing their kids there, and their parents had brought them there before that. And that was always, when we said, you know, what do you like most about Catfish John's, it was always how they're family owned, they're very friendly, and they had great food. And then they were always welcoming, and they had a very just friendly atmosphere. You didn't feel like it was, you know, quiet, or they always made you feel like you were welcome there, and they always made sure that you were okay, and they were on top of things, getting you what you need, asking you if you're okay.
Okay, so now we have our problem statement. So that pretty much just gave us an overview of what we were looking at Catfish John's, and it kind of just gave us the current situation that there. So, but whenever you approached us, he said that there was a lack of social media presence for Catfish John's. So they did have a Facebook and a Instagram, and they just weren't used very much. And as a lot of you guys know, social media is a really good way to reach mainly our age group. I mean, of course, a lot of people have social media now, it's becoming more popular. But if you went to Catfish John's, you know, so it was mainly older people. So they really wanted to start appealing to younger age groups to get more people coming in. And the reason why that's not so good is because it gives them a loss of potential sales because people don't know about the restaurant. It's kind of far away. Mostly whenever you hear about it, it's from word of mouth. You don't really ever see anything advertised about it. And our desire was to improve advertising through social media in order to allow the restaurant to expand its customer base and increase.
So a bone diagram is a diagram that shows a present organization, which is like a current situation, and then a future organization, which is kind of what we want to achieve. And then it also has positive and negative forces, which is kind of what is happening and going on with the business right now. So what they have right now is a Facebook and an Instagram. The Instagram doesn't use much. And then lack of advertising the specials, and then they advertise on current radio as well. So what we want to change is to improve the Facebook. That's a big deal for middle-aged parents and adults. And active Instagram, which is kind of what our age level uses a lot. And then post specials on social media, that way people know what's going on for that day. And expand to Twitter, which is another great social media source. Positive forces for the business is great food, good service. It's an inviting, homey atmosphere. It's really what a Catfish place feels like. It's really good price, loyal customers, very clean and sanitary environment, and it's family owned and operated, which is awesome for a business these days. Some negative forces is it's on the outskirts of town. Not a lot of people know about it. It's a small business, lack of attraction to youth, limited food options. It's really just a Catfish and hush puppy place, and a lot of people are unaware of the restaurant because it's so far out of town.
Okay, so our next step was to do a survey. We wanted to do a survey to ensure that there actually was a problem, and then to provide some sort of evidence for what our solutions were and what our causes were. So we did a survey through Google Forms, and our questions were, have you heard of Catfish John's? If so, how did you hear about it? Have you been to Catfish John's? What types of social media do you use? Have you seen Catfish John's on social media? And then how old are you? And these questions were trying to, again, show that there is a problem, try and get an age group, and like I said, to provide some evidence for it. Okay, so we ended up having 201 people who responded to our survey. Most of these people were our age. We sent it out mostly to our friends. There were a few parents and other people, but they were all from around this area. And for our first question, have you heard of Catfish John's? It was 68% yes, so that was good. And And then, if so, how did you hear about it? We had several options, whether friend or family member, radio advertising, as we mentioned, they do advertising on Kerm Radio, social media, and other types of advertising, driving by the restaurant, and then a general other category. Now, almost 60% were from friend or family member. Like we said earlier, many people we talked to and that we interviewed, they had come there because their parents had started coming there, and it's just, they've kept coming for years and years. It's a loyal customer base, which is great. But then another quarter of responses were just from driving by the restaurant. Very, very few had heard about it from social media or other types of advertising. Okay, and then have you been to Catfish John's? Earlier we had 68% who said they had heard of it, but this shows that only 72% have actually been there. And then what social media types do you use? So the ones we listed were Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and then a general other category. Out of the over 200 people, we had 120 using Facebook, 180 using Instagram, 135 using Twitter, and 163 using Snapchat. So this shows, I mean, those are huge majorities, and it's most of the people we surveyed, like I said, were our age. So the fact that this many people use it, it's a great way to expand your customer base, to really reach a whole nother age demographic. Okay, and then have you seen Catfish John's on social media? We mentioned earlier that they do have a Facebook and an Instagram page, and it's great that they have them, but they're not very active, and this pretty much confirms it. These questions, I think, provide pretty substantial evidence to show that, yes, there is a problem with the lack of social media, and the fact that so many young kids do use it shows that this would be a great way to reach out to them.
So this is their current Facebook page. We pretty much just looked them up on Facebook to get a feel for what their presence is already on Facebook. And as you can see, they have 5 stars, so obviously that means that they're great. And but as you can tell, the last time that they posted was August 17th, so that was over a couple of months ago. And mainly the things that they were posting was just like customers that have eaten there, and just them serving food to the community, which is great, but a lot of that doesn't really give a lot of advertisement for the restaurant. It's more just like just putting pictures up. But like we said, we'd like to see them putting specials on it, more stable evidence of social media on Facebook.
And then this is their current Instagram page, like we mentioned earlier. They also have an Instagram, but it's just not like in the Facebook page. It's just not as used as it could be, and it hasn't been posted on in a while. And they show great stuff like the food that's very appealing to people, but they also just need to show more of specials and like what sort of things are going on instead of just pictures of people eating there, and just to try and get more people to come to their restaurant instead of just showing like what's going on. And I'd say mainly the big issue is that it just needs to be used more actively so people can see it on their feed if they do follow it, and just so it's fresh in people's minds instead of only seeing it every couple months. So.
Okay, so after defining our problem, analyzing the causes, and looking at our survey results, we came up with a couple of different solutions. Our top solution was to create an active Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter page. These were the types of social media that were most used by kids, especially our age. And if you increase the use of that, you can post specials on there, just things, constant reminders to get people coming here. It would require somebody to be assigned to do this. It can't just be every month or so. So having somebody have this part of their job, that would ensure that it's constantly being updated so that people will actually see it. Another solution is to put Catfish John's on local broadcasting stations. They are already on Kerm, so if they can increase their presence on that and maybe expand to some other news stations. Participate in local fundraisers. A lot of you have seen the baseball coupon cards. They have different coupons, and there are some local businesses on there. So if Catfish John's could get on there, that would provide some people with incentive to go there, the fact that they could have a discount. And then our last idea was to do advertisements on social media. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, they all have different ads you can purchase, and it can go out to different areas. So if you select this region, then a large amount of people in this area who are on social media will see Catfish John's on those ads.
So examples of successful restaurant social media pages. We have Slim Chicken. Slim Chicken, it's an awesome chicken place that's located in Fayetteville and then around this area as well. There's some more Slims. JJ's, it's like a bar and grill hamburger place. I called them and asked them how they really advertise on social media, and they gave me some good ideas that hopefully Catfish John's could implement. One of them being is to advertise every single day. You know, post something, either a daily special, people having fun at the restaurant, a picture of the food. Have your employees repost that post, that way that their friends can see it and say, hey, I'm working today, come and see me. And then also create a hashtag. You know, their motto is really cool, nothing fancy, just good food, so hashtag nothing fancy. So that way people, if they're in the restaurant having fun, they can take a picture, use the hashtag nothing fancy, and their friends can see, hey, it's Catfish John's. That's an awesome motto, I'm gonna remember that and go there. Also, Dickey's, they're a really popular barbecue place. They're really hardcore advertising on Facebook, and then they do a lot of stuff for local schools. With the Heritage Rogers football game, the winner of that gets free meals, I believe. So maybe something like that, just to advertise and then say you support your schools, and a lot of people really like that. So here's an example of an account that I created. This is a Twitter account for Catfish John's. It's just to show that how easy it is. I've created it in like less than 5 minutes and posted that. And it just shows that you can get a great amount of people to follow you. I don't really have any followers because it was brand new when I took the picture. I believe we have 10, 15 followers now. And it's just an easy way to advertise and get your word out.
So this is advertisement costs. So to be able for everybody in a region like Northwest Arkansas to see on social media such as Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, it does cost a little upkeep. But so that's
Engagement.
oh yeah, okay. And engagement, that's whenever someone, like one person clicks on a post that they pay to have on Twitter or Instagram.
I'm not sure if everyone knows exactly what that means. Like, obviously you can post a picture and caption it like that they're doing a special, but this, if you've been on Facebook, it's on the sidebar and it has different businesses, and it just kind of, it's like a advertisement sold through Facebook. So it's just a different way that you could advertise on Facebook.
Here's our final Gantt chart. So what this is showing is the different months. So that's like the first month after this, second month, third month, and so on. And so it's just basically like a timeline for you to operate and implement our ideas. So designate an employee to run the accounts. That really should be done within the first month. And then create monthly events and specials. You can do that, you know, all year long. Just different events, different specials to get people in and notice your company. Create or post daily specials and events. So post daily, that's really important. That gets your followers. That makes sure that your name is out there the max amount it can be. Have employees repost it. That just gets your name out even more. A lot of people go to restaurants to visit the employees because they like them, and so having that, it really shows that the people are liking the employees. Create a hashtag, you know, hashtag nothing fancy. That's really kind of, it's, you don't think that it's important, but to me it is, because a lot of our age group uses hashtags, and it just kind of brings your name out even more in kind of like a secret way. All right, so here's pictures of us having fun. It was, I don't know, if you guys want to share your experience?
The food's great.
Well, this has been a lot of fun getting to go out and help Catfish John's, and working in a group was a lot of fun. There's so many different ideas that came from everyone, and it was fun to get to meet them and work with them the whole week.
Yeah, and then another thing from the senior projects I learned is there's so much stuff that goes into business that I don't even really know about until we came into this. Things that you just don't really see the behind the scene things that they do, and it was really cool to just kind of get an insight of how a local business works.
I'm definitely grateful for this experience. It was an invaluable experience to be able to get a first look into what actually goes on in business, the teamwork that's required, the planning, the analyzing. There's just so much to it. So to be able to get this experience now while we're in high school before we actually go out into the job world is definitely a beneficial opportunity.
You know, being in a team is awesome. You get to hear so many ideas, and a lot of times in school you kind of work by yourself. And so just being in a team again, hearing different ideas, it really kind of helps you for the business world. And then, you know, talking to different businesses, just so you can have like a business conversation and be able to carry that out. It's pretty awesome.
I think they all said it best. I just want to thank JD for everything and Dr. Woodruff for all of it. It was awesome. It was a fun week.
Yeah, we got to learn lots about like what goes on in the business world, being more specific, the restaurant world, and see how normal business runs like throughout the day instead of just like going after school, like during dinner time. We got to see throughout lunch and like what kind of people go to each restaurant, and it was just a really great experience to kind of just get to see it before we go into college. And we got to meet new people like JD and his workers, and we got to talk to other businesses as well to get their input, and it was a great experience.
Thank you everyone for listening, and if you have any questions,
I've got a question. Y'all seem to be pretty knowledgeable about the advertising aspect, Facebook and Instagram. First of all, I wonder, the price range per engagement was pretty varied, from 16 cents to $1, I think, for Facebook, and then up to $4, was it, for Instagram? So that's $4 every time somebody clicks.
Right. So that's usually used for, like, the $4 range is more for, like, companies like Walmart, big corporations. And that usually ranges, like, with the size. So obviously, if it's $4, it's probably going to take up the whole page. So, obviously, for a local business like Catfish John's, that might not be exactly realistic. But, like, the ones that are 14 cents, those would just, like, be on the side usually. That doesn't pop up on your screen, but it's, like, on the sidebar.
And some of it has to do with regional. You know, like Walmart, you're going to promote the nation in the world. With Catfish John's, it's really going to be in this region. You don't really need people in Kansas to know about it, but just mainly in Northwest Arkansas, so that cost might be lower than it will be for Walmart promoting around the world.
So how would they translate the cost of that advertising into actual increased business?
So with Facebook, you can like see the data that's collected from the ad. So it shows like how many people viewed it per day, per hour, what age group viewed it. So that way you can kind of see like, hey, people are kind of hungry around this time, so let's promote something at 4 o'clock, just so that they know, like, if they don't really know where to go, they can go to Catfish John's because they saw an ad on Facebook. Mr. Zeger.
I'm now following Catfish John's.
Thank you.
Do they have weekly specials or monthly specials?
They have lunch specials.
Lunch specials?
Evening special.
Evening specials. That's part of your plan though, right? Some kind of a special?
Yes.
So I picked this up and I'm like, hey, Catfish, 6 pieces for $5 today or whatever.
There you go.
I mean, that's not any good if we don't have specials.
Right, you're extra.
Any other questions?
Is there anything the business has to do to like, you mentioned hashtag, not fancy?
Nothing fancy.
Nothing fancy?
No, you can just go to the hashtag on your keyboard and you can write in anything you want to. So they don't have to pay for it, they don't have to do anything, they can just create it. And then if people keep using that, they can go to the search tab and search hashtag nothing fancy and see all the different posts from people.
And then one more question, just a follow-up question. can, if I'm on Twitter, and you know I'm not on Twitter, so let's not go there. But if I am on Twitter and I had a bad experience at Catfish John, could I post that on Twitter? And isn't that kind of something that JD needs to consider is negative things that may happen as a restaurant?
Yeah, I mean, you can post anything you want to on social media, so you kind of got to watch out for that. But from all the reviews and talking to people, nobody's saying anything bad.
And I wasn't insinuating that they were. I was just asking the question because I would be concerned about that as a business
I
owner.
understand.
That the more you put yourself out there, you have to be cognizant of those negative reviews, because we see it all the time with Yelp or whatever it may be, and it's tough to answer.
On some of those, like on Facebook, you can
rate
review, yeah,
Okay.
but on Yelp or Google or something, you can't.
Okay.
They can reply though.
Yeah, we can.
Yes. So if like,
They can address it, yeah.
Right,
like,
exactly.
make it right, whatever.
yeah, so if somebody came with them with like a bad experience, they could reply and say, we'd love for you to come back in and offer you a free meal or something.
There's actually 2 restaurants in town, I'm not gonna mention them, but they've both had some legal battles with former employees and about how they handle social media and some of the negative aspects that happen. And it's really unfortunate because it plays out, you get to read all the posts. And
Right.
it was kind of eye-opening, so.
Yeah.
Most people don't get involved in that though, they leave it alone. And if you have a bad experience, you're gonna post it anyway, no fun.